Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League Division 1. It is time to get sprinting in here in Belgium. We're getting ready for a sprint weekend after a very, very long and very, very fun Imola round where we went from 100% racing. Now we're doing the sprints, and it is going to be a fantastic time here this evening. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, and I will be one of your hosts and commentators. For tonight's action, alongside me is the main man himself, SJ. How you doing tonight, mate?
Yeah, Ricketts, good evening, mate. How you going? Yeah, it's good to be in the comms and doing it with yourself tonight. And this should be a really interesting race, especially obviously coming off the back of Imola 100%. So straight into the fire, into another fire with a sprint round at Spa.
Yeah, speaking of Spa, it is, Spa days are supposed to be relaxing. Um, However, it is a very wet spot at the moment as we take you guys trackside. It is extremely wet. The inters are going to be out on full display. And The one thing to note, and this is going to actually make things slightly easier for the drivers in terms of energy management, but energy management is so crucial in Spa in general. It's probably one of the most energy starved racetracks on the F1 calendar is this one here in Belgium. I mean, pretty much the strategy that I've seen mostly is that you want to deploy a lot of that battery in sectors 1 and 3, but use sector 2 to really just begin to recharge that battery. But with limited deployment in the wet, I mean, that just kind of throws that whole thing out the window.
Yeah, definitely, especially being a track which is extremely long as well. And obviously, I think the key is going to be the battery here compared to obviously last game. Not so much worrying about the battery. Just need to worry about the DRS. But obviously, with the new rigs, Belgium will be very similar to Imola probably, but lift and coasting, managing that battery for that main straight up the Rouge. I'm ready on, and then obviously in your sector 3, using all of that battery as much as you can going into the bus stop chicane, which will be really interesting to see how these guys manage with that, which is going to be very interesting. But obviously with these conditions as well. Going into the qualifying is absolutely chucking it down, which is definitely going to spice things up. And also, so a few drivers missing tonight as well. No Jono in the Williams, the championship leader, is not on the grid tonight, and no Oscar Lou either. So this could become a very, very interesting one for Miyazi Gaming tonight. We'll have to wait and see. And we're still waiting on Jonna and Kenworth, the Aston Martin TP. So hopefully if we can get those guys in, then we will have 20 on the grid, Rekus.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This track is one of my personal favorites. We were talking with Daniel Rocks earlier, who is jumping in for the Aston Martin, and he wasn't too big of a fan of this track. He said that this is one of his weakest tracks. So I know Spa is really one of those you love it or you hate it kind of racetracks. It is the longest track on the F1 calendar. The only other track that comes close is Azerbaijan, and it's a very historic track. I mean, this track actually used to be even longer. This track used to even kind of rival the Nordschleife in terms of distance. Its early iteration, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think the original iteration was like 8 miles long, give or take. I'd have to look that one up in kilometers. I think it's like 14 kilometers or something roughly of the sort. It was longer than the Circuit de la Sarthe, longer than Le Mans. I remember that much. Bailey is going to be the first driver on an out lap or on a racing lap here as we make our way through this quali. He is currently making his way through Sector 2. Now, Sector 2 is a really popular recharge spot to try to recharge that battery as he is going to go ahead and just continue to make his way through, coming through campus now, making his way down to Stavelot. And as you can see, the rain is absolutely pelting right now as he makes his way through turn 16, going in the Corb, and just making the run to Blushemont. Gonna be, let's see what we can do here. This is really the one spot you want to burn that battery down, but with boost mode not being a factor at all in this, just with these weather conditions, you won't be burning as much battery. Oh, that's a very messy entry into the bus stop chicane for Bailey. Working Bailey go. It's going to be top of the times for now, but there's a few cars just riding right behind that are going to want to just change up the order. But right now, the McJammy goes ahead to tops the times at the moment. A 158.8, and then Jade's not too far behind. Jastan in the Cadillac, not too far behind as well. Jazzy now making his way to the line into Williams. He's subbing in for Jono this week as he comes across the line, up into P6 for the Williams as a few more drivers make their way to the line. Our first runs are going to be wrapping up here shortly, but then everyone's just going to hoping for better weather, but they're going to just try to give it another go, get on a fresh set of tires. Now, the inters really don't lose a whole lot of pace over one lap compared to the softs, especially when the rain is in this condition. When the track is drying more, that's a bit of a different story. But with the track as is right now, those inters will actually last you pretty long.
Yeah, they definitely will. Obviously, I probably would say most of these guys will do around about 2 or 3 laps, and depending on what the track's going to do, warm those tyres up, and then they'll do a better stint. So they'll probably do one banker, and then obviously go around again, save the battery, and then go around again. So we'll probably see this move. And the thing is with intermediate conditions, wreckers, it definitely changes the dynamics of the qualifying, is because even though the track is at temp at the moment, is pretty cold, it'll definitely spice things up. Obviously, depending on if one of these guys are improving on their second or third or even fourth stint with only 5 minutes to go in quali, as it's only 11 minutes in the sprint compared to 18 in the feature.
It's also a very long outlap as well. It is the longest outlap on the counter, especially in these conditions, and especially with the fact that you're not using nearly as much battery as you normally would. But McJammy goes ahead and improves. He improves by just about 4/10 of a second, and he will extend. It is a McLaren 1-2 right now. And given where McLaren were around this time last season, that is a very, very welcome change. Right there now, the Ferrari TP sliding his way through the hairpin as he makes his way through Brussels. Now coming into the no-name corner, which has also been it's interesting because turn 11 has been named No Name and Speakers. I've heard a few different names for it, but coming through Puhan now as they go through, and then you're making your way to the campus chicane. So gonna be good on the brakes, just trying to be gentle with it, coast the car through, especially in these slippery conditions. It's at an interesting point with the weather because you're pretty much borderline. You're almost in wet tire territory, but just not quite. It's almost just borderline with the intensity of the rain. Although the rain has calmed down very slightly, it is still very, very, very on the nose for intermediate to this stage.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we are getting a little bit of a dry line. Conditions are still wet. It is still raining out there at the moment. But leading the way with the order at the moment is the double McLaren, which are, well, actually, just changed that because one of there is just cemented it into P2 with 3 minutes to go. A little bit of a slide up there as well. So McJammy in P1 at the moment with 158.445. We've then got Lamb in second with a 159.033, and then Webber in third at the moment. Toast in fourth position. Then Jades, Dido, Kazuto, Aiden's Rain, Zach User, Swift, Katusha, Lachlan, Bailey, Jazzy Short, Daniel Rocks, Levo, Symphonic, and Sick Party. And hopefully we will see the rest of the guys. We've got Slushy, RJ, and M. John R still to get on the grid. Looks like they're not going to be able to do a qualifying session in the sprint, which is really a little unfortunate there. But we'll jump on board with, let's have a look. We've got Jazzy Shaw, we've got Bailey on an outlap. We've got a lot of guys on outlaps at the moment. Let's look further up. We've got Jades. A lot of people on outlaps at the moment, so the track is really busy. No one really on a lap at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. But really, really good night so far for McLaren records. Double 1-2 at the moment at the top.
Yeah, a few months earlier, I mean, Webber just knocked off a whole second of his lap time. So, I mean, that's definitely a mighty improvement from the Papaya machine. Symphonic's right now pushing on a lap here at the moment. He's making his way through Puhan in Sector 2. He will get past the Audi, who is trying to build up. And then Symphonic now just trying to hold on in the V-Carb. It is tricky conditions out there in that V-Carb, trying to make his way on through. Now he's going to come into Sector 3. This is really a massive deployment area. And that's when you'd really want to deploy your battery. As he's going to go ahead and make his way through. Him and Sick Party have yet to set a lap time. And it's the Ferrari of Ryan Adair prancing up in the pole position for the sprint. But can he hold it? Few drivers coming around and very quickly. And Symphonic is going to go ahead and come across the line. Where is he going to sit? Where is his time in the order? Good enough for P6 at the moment. Sick party. Oh, sick party's in the grass.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, interesting. Still getting that dry line as well. It's still raining out there at the moment, but are we going to see an improvement? I'm trying to find someone on an outlap that I can jump on board with. We'll jump on board with Jades for a fly here as he is just about to finish off his outlap in P7 in the Alpine, and who knows, Hooney will be pretty stoked with how Alpine are going. Let's see how they go tonight. So here we go. Gets onto the dry line, get into the bit of the wet going into turn one. Let's see, we are going to see an improvement in Jades this time. You can really see he's really sliding the car out there, then gets on it to the curb, then coming down, up into Ready On, up Rouge, and all about power and also grip, because it is going to be very slippery. You do not want to be riding those curves too much, but looking good so far. Now he's going to burn all of his battery as much as he can all the way down the main straight, using that dry line, getting into the wet as well to get those tyres in temp. In sector one, are we going to see an improvement on his time? Yes, we are. 3.5 temps at the moment in P7, which is a really, really good start so far. We've got 20 cars. It looks like we've got someone else that's just jumped in as well. Slushy is finally in, which is good. But now coming into sector two, coming in to Pouon. I think this is Pouon or Ravage. I think one or the other. I get confused between the two. Then going into sector two, we've already seen an improvement in sector one, 3.5 temps. What about sector two? Right, it did going in quicker, 15.56.596. Going very, very quick there, and you've still got McJammy, Dodge, and Webber still to set times. What about Jades in sector two? Any improvement at the moment? It looks extremely difficult to hold that car out there at the moment at Spa, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen in the conditions for the sprint and the feature. He's 2.5 seconds up on his time, which will put him to a 59, 58, 57. So we'll be close to the top unless he can make big improvements into the bottom chicane, into the last couple of corners. It's looking likely it could be a P3 or Jades at the moment, with still a lot of other cars still on the running and to have a go. Symphonic up into P3, there's Swift into P2, Jost into P1 with a 156.462. What about Jades? Jades goes pole with a 156.76373. We've got Webber. He's coming around the final corner as well. Slushy is done. He's retired from this session. From the race. Webber coming around into the final corner. Are we going to see any improvement? Are we going to see a change at the front? Let's have a look. Coming across the line. Yes, we are. 156.148. Who else? McJammy dodges the other McLaren. We've also got Aiden's Raven that's just gone pole as well. McJammy dodges in P13. He goes pole position, and there you go, Wreckers. What? 6 drivers changing the grid order for the sprint.
Yeah, that track improved so much in the last couple of minutes. So just being on the track at the right time. McJammy putting almost well over 8 tenths, almost 9 tenths on Aiden is Raiden, who is only 8 thousandths of a second ahead of Webber. And then it is going to be Jades, Toast, Ryan Adair, Swift, Katusha, Symphonic, Bailey, Daniel Rocks getting P11 here for the sprint. And then Kazuto, Lachlan, Zax, Dito, Jazzy, the Big Levo being the last driver, 2 set lap time. Then RJ, Slushy, and Sick Party were not able to set a lap time here in quali. They will start from the back of the grid on the sprint. So it is going to be an 8-lap sprint followed by a 22-lap feature. And this one's going to be interesting. We'll see what the track conditions are like. Is it going to rain? No, it's dried up. So now we're going to see drivers actually be able to use those dry weather tires. So it'll be interesting to see what tires these drivers end up using. Spa isn't usually a very high tire degradation track, so I'm gonna say you're still probably gonna see a good amount of mediums involved. I don't think you'll really see a soft, because granted, tire deg isn't too bad. However, with that being said, soft tire does burn out pretty quickly on any track. Really, I don't really see. Maybe if there's a Monaco sprint, you might be able to get away with a soft tire, but for the most part, you're just going to probably see those mediums and those hards being used. I actually wouldn't be too surprised if drivers ended up just running probably mediums is probably going to be the tire. You're not required to make a pit stop, and probably for the most part, unless you have damage or a weather change, you're not going to make a pit stop. So this one should be a very interesting sprint, as we did lose Slushy.
Another one.
We're just waiting for the drivers to go ahead and make sure everything is locked in and good. And we're going to make sure that they have everything all nice and dandy before we get started with another sprint weekend here at Rush Racing Season 11. As we get ready to go, drivers are just doing their final checks as we await to go green in the sprint. Here we go. The 5 red lights coming up on the gantry. And it is lights out and away we go here at Belgium. A good start there from McJamie, already making the chop to try to go ahead and stay out of Aina's raid. And I see a few end plates flying off. Oh, it's a parking lot here. Symphonic's around. It is a parking lot here in turn 1. Symphonic, Slushy, Kazuto, Sick Party, Lachlan. Yeah, a lot of those drivers all just involved. I think the Williams also got caught out with that one as well. So quite a few drivers getting a bit into it in the opening stages of the sprint. And drama is ensuing. Toast and Jades battling it out for position here. It's Cadillac versus Alpine. Then the Ferrari of Ryan Adair's in the mix. Trying to swing it around town. And he's going to do whatever he can to try to hold up here. Everybody's everybody's running the mediums, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Figured the mediums would be the go-to tire here at Spa-Francorchamps. And it's probably even going to be a one-stop when we do get into the race, weather depending. Webber now trying to chase down Aiden's Raiden. And now here's the thing. Now with the rain not being a factor, boost mode is going to be enabled, unlike qualifying. Oh, and that's a bit of a wiggle there from Webber, as it gets a little tricky there for our McLaren Spider-Man of Webber. As Aiden's Raiden doesn't make the move for the lead. It's going to be a battle, though, coming into the bus stop chicane. It's going to be a pass and repass. McJammer trying to send it up the inside of the bus stop. Can he get the switchback? Not quite. Aiden's Raiden now in the lead of the race. And, oh, look at this. McJammer already going to try to make a lunge for it. McJammer back in the lead of the race, and he is going to continue on. What a crazy opening lap we've had here so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. You can definitely see the McLaren and the VCAL already going at it at the moment. Obviously, a really strong lineup for McLaren tonight with Miazzi Gabing reserving all the TP. But Dana's Raiders going to go for a move. They got the two McLarens. Don't know which way to go there. They could have got that all wrong. They got that right, though. McJamie Dodge does stay in that P2 and staying right on at the hunt of Aiden's Raiden. There's a lot of drama going on at the back as well. Lock and Wiggles. We've got Kazuto, and then we've got more changes going on as McJamie does get back into the lead. Aiden's Raiden into P2, and he's got basically loads and loads of traffic behind him as well. So if you look in your rear view mirror, you've got another car as Webber does look to make a move on Aiden's Raiden. Doesn't make the move. Stays in formation there at the moment, but this is very, very good night so for McLaren P1 and P3. And if this is what we've got to see tonight, will we see this in the feature as well? We've also got Ryan Adair got the move done on post there into P5. Post having a fantastic race so far. Katusha now up to P7. Bailey up to P9. Swift's dropped down a few spots. Got Daniel Rocks just got the move done there as well. Back up to the front. We're going to see Aiden's Raiden get for the move as well. Yes, we do. Back out in front. McJamie Dodge is going to stay with him. How is he going to be able to make the move? The two McLarens are still going very, very close together as Webber looks to make a move there on his teammate. No, he doesn't. Or does he? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. I'm trying to work out if he is making a move. And it does look like he is, because, no, he's backed off there. So a little bit of team orders there. And we've got Ryan Adair now into P4, and he's got the job done on... No, There's so much going on, I can't keep up. We've got Jade's now going at it, and we've then got Toast into P6. Jade's is going to get the run on the Ferrari, up already on into Rouge. Look at that, you've got 4 cars going side by side nearly, but they're all in line at the moment. Now it is going to be pace all the way down the main straight. Who's got the battery? Who's not got the battery? We can see there up front that Aiden's Raiden has lost the lead again to McJammy Dodge, and Jade's got the move done on Lamb into P4, but Ryan Adair's going to come back.
That's a big one.
He's put him into the wall. Oh, that was an interesting one from Ryan Adair there, and that will be looked at big time from the stewards. Back to you, Rekus.
Yeah, that was a big moment there, just getting wheel hooked right there. And I mean, just unfortunately just got spun around there. So that's going to be a tough one. Jade's now down 16 positions. He had such a good start, starting well within the top 5. And I mean, luckily the nice thing about the sprint weekend is you have the feature race later on that you can really build upon. But I mean, it was crazy up at the front. You had the McLarens basically just going on both sides of the V-carb of Aiden is Raiden. So, I mean, you just had a lot of stuff going on. Toast now trying to maybe make a move on to Katusha in the Audi. We'll see if he can hold on. McJammy's really starting to stretch his legs now ahead of Aiden is Raiden. He's already built up almost a 1 second gap. Oh, it's going to be an optimistic dive coming into the bus stop chicane. And Jazz does not get the move done just yet on to the Audi. He's got a good amount of opportunity now trying. Oh, that's a big hit. That was an optimistic dive for the Cadillac. And he is just nosedived straight into the side of Katusha. And that is just insane to see. I mean, that was... Trying to make a dive into La Source is always going to be a tough one because it is such a tight hairpin. It's actually so tight, in fact, that in some other racing series like GT, and GT3 racing and such, they actually start at a different part of the track. Dito just soars on past, but back up at the front, Aiden is Raiden is still trying to catch up and try to get past McJammy. But Webber now just really just trying to be all over the back of the V-carb. He's going to look one way, look another. Webber's just been applying every ounce of pressure on to the V-carb here tonight. And Aiden hasn't really cracked under pressure, and that's one of his biggest strengths, is that he can get pressured all night long, but he just doesn't really crack under pressure. His car is more likely to crack than he is. So... Ryan Adair isn't one to be forgotten, though. He's right behind in the mix. Obviously, he's going to be under investigation with the stewards after that incident with Jade's. So that's going to most certainly be a factor in this one. Webber now almost going side by side. Is he going to make a move? Oh, that's going to be a lineup there from Aiden, trying to line him up. He got the angle, just did not have the speed to carry that angle on through. But look at this now. Webber trying to make it into La Source. Once again, not quite. It's so tough to make that dive into La Source. It's very tight, and that corner comes at you very, very quickly. Even if you do have massive overspeed coming into it, it is very likely that you're just going to annihilate the car in front of you like we saw with the Cadillac earlier on. But here comes the run. Coming down to Camo Straight. He's going to get it. Oh. It's tight. It's narrow, but through goes Webber. But look at this. About three wide. Contact. Aiden's Raiden just knocking on the door. Looking for a position. Ryan Adair gets to both of them. Ryan Adair gets 2 for the price of 1 just before coming into Brussels.
What a move. Straight through the middle. Thank you very much. And, yeah, he was pretty patient on that one. And you could see there that Webber did force went out a little bit wide there, and that pushed Aiden into a bit of a situation that couldn't really get into his racing line there. And obviously that's pushed him down into P3 as well. We have seen that Webber has been putting the pressure on Aiden as Raiden on that P2 spot, but now Webber down to P4, Aiden as Raiden into P3, and Lamb now into P2. Jamie Johnson thought may have just backed up a little bit to try and let Webber get that opportunity now, but McJammy will try and pull away. As we can see, there's a lot of drama going on here between RJ and Dido as Toast gets back up into P10 after that mistake early on. Still opportunity, 4 points here at the moment as Swift is into P6 now, Bailey into 7th, and Zach User taking the last points place at the moment. So still opportunity, but there is a 2.9 second gap from Swift to Katusha as well. But we'll have to wait and see, and it's not gone to plan for Jades. They're down there on softs. In P20 as well, but we've still got moves going on here and still opportunity, 4 points. Can Toast catch the back of Daniel Rocks? That's going to be the question as he looks to make the move around the outside. Does he get the move down? He goes the wide line. Daniel Rocks goes the short way, and then Toast looks like he is going to try and get the move down going in to Radion. They're going to go side by side. It is Cadillac and Aston who is going to go for the move. Toast drops out there, and then they're going to still go back at it as Toast has had to go off track. I may have to give that position back. I don't know. That may be an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see what's happening here. We've got RJ really pushing in as well. This is going to be an interesting. Does Toast have to give the position back there? He may have overtaken. He's got a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. Oh, that is massive for Toast. So I would say from that, he may have had to give the position back. But while that's been going on, Ryan Adair has now taken the lead of the sprint race in front of McJammy Dodge under investigation as well. Records.
Yeah, so I think Ryan Adair's defense is going to be that, on his end at least, Jades was lagging. So that one might be, he might be able to get away with that incident. I don't know, we'll leave that one up to the stewards, but we're going to just have to see how the race just kind of pans out as we go ahead and make our way through. We're about to begin the penultimate lap here at Spa-Francorchamps. McJammy now is going to try to retake the lead on Ryan Adair. And we're going to see here, he's going to go ahead and just try to put the foot to the floor, pedal to the metal. He just doesn't have enough in the tank, as he's going to try now to maybe try to reel it in, maybe try to consolidate a P2. It's only the sprint. There is still a Grand Prix that we have later on. We have another quality session, which the drivers are probably hoping is going to be well within the dry. And then this is going to be a very interesting 22-lap Grand Prix later on. Ryan Adair already shaking defensively, trying to break the toe. And he's going to go ahead and he's going to hold that lead for now. McJammy is closing the gap. Aiden is rated right there as well. So this could really be a three-way scrap for the race win here in the sprint race here at Belgium. McJammy now going to go ahead and just continue to apply that pressure. Staying at a decent distance. Not staying too close, but not staying too far. But if he backs off too much, he might have to deal with a very rapid Aiden is rating. Aiden trying to go around the outside of Puan. Now making his way to campus. And this is going to be tightly knit as the drivers just continue to snake their way on through Sector 2. Now coming up into Sector 3. Sector 3 is a really popular spot for deployment. And Aiden's Raiden is going to still try to hold on. Still try to grab the move. But Ryan Adair is going to really just try to burn it down here, as we are going to get ready for the final lap of the race. And we'll see, can McJammy make the move? The answer is no. So, nothing yet. Oh, big wiggle there from Ryan Adair, though. As we head on to the final lap, I'm going to pass this one to you, SJ.
Thank you very much, Regas. We've got one final lap, and this is it. But it is going to go to the wire now because these three guys are very, very close together. McJammy Dodgers got even closer to Ryan Adair. Has he lost the opportunity here? Is Aiden's Raiden going to be able to get the job done? We'll have to wait and see. That come to Radion up the rouge. Here we go. McJammy Dodge is now going to execute his move. Aiden's Raiden is waiting for the move as well. As you can see, McJammy Dodge is trying to get the toe. Does he get the move done? Aiden's Raiden has got nowhere to go. He's pretty blocked out there in that P3. Ryan Adair tries to hold on, loses that position, but now he's got an opportunity here from Aiden's Raiden, which is trying to get on the outside of him as well. Let's have a look. McJammy Dodge is leading the way still. Aiden's Raiden is going to go side by side with Lamb. Holds his line. Does he get the position? Yes, he does. Aiden's Raiden. Do not underestimate Aiden's Raiden. We've got yellows in sector 1. There's an issue that's happened there. But McJammy Dodge is still leading the way. Aiden's Raiden on P2. Question is, how much battery does Jammy have? How much battery does Aiden's Raiden have? This is going to be the question as Aiden's Raiden is getting closer. Could Aiden's Raiden take it from McJammy Dodge in the final of sector 3? Where's where you need all of your battery? This is going to be close. Could this be about wings? Could this be about battery? McJammy Dodge is burning. Aiden is burning. Lamb doesn't look like he could get it. It's all about Aiden's Raiden. He is right on the tail of Jammy Dodge, and he is going for it, and he is gonna get the job done here. He's moving to the left-hand side. Jammy Dodge needs to hold it into the bus stop. Here we go. Aiden's Raiden keeps it tight. Who is gonna take the win in the sprint? They're going side by side. Jammy Dodge has got a better gear, and he takes the win. What a race there at the end of the finale of the sprint. McJammy Dodge taking P1. Aiden's Raiden just could not get the traction down, and that may have lost him there. And we've got the 10-second unserved for Toast, and Ryan Adair in P3, Webber in P4, Katusha in P5, Bailey in P6, Swift in P7, and Zach User rounds it out with all the points there. Then we've got Dido, RJ, Jazzy, Tick Buddy, Toast, Levo, Lachlan, Slushy, Kazuto, Daniel Rocks, who is just about to finish up now. And then we've then got Jades and Symphonic, who are going at it at the end as well. And, that's what you got to see. Great to see battles, but very interesting sprint race that was. That was very, very spectacle right near the end there, Rickers.
Yeah, good battle there from our top 3, just giving it everything they got, especially Aiden is Raiden, trying to really get the move done on a McJammy. He had it until he didn't. It was very, very, very competitive stuff. As we go through your results here, it is going to be McJammy ahead of Aiden is Raiden, Ryan Adair, Webba, Katusha, Bailey, Swift, Zach's User, rounding out the regular sprint points format, and then Dido and RJ rounding out your top 10. And then followed by Jazzy, Sick Party, Toast, who did serve that 10-second penalty. The big level, Lachlan, Slushy, Kazuto, Daniel, Rocks, Symphonic, and Jade, who did get the fastest lap of the sprint race at the very end. But as crazy as that was just a sprint. So here's a new challenge for the drivers, right? Now, you just had a fantastic sprint, and especially like if you're in our top 3, that adrenaline is coursing through your veins, and now you gotta try to just recenter, refocus, and get ready for qualifying, as qualifying is underway. And unlike last time, it is very much dry this time around.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a very, very interesting race that was, and also quali. Obviously, turn 1 gave us a little bit of issues there as well. We'll have to wait and see if that is going to be a lot more cleaner going into turn 1. But great little battle at the front there as well between Ryan, Bialzi, Webber, Aiden's Raiden. Yeah, fantastic. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the race. As well. Obviously, a few incidents there and a few penalties that not needed. So it's going to be very interesting, and obviously opportunity now for some of the other guys to set some times. Like I think he's in here. Just trying to find out, where is he? He's still not in here. Is M John R still not in here?
No,
I tried to get this guy in. I don't know what he's doing.
He was in for a little bit, but I don't think he ever picked a car.
Well, I've selected him, and there we go. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But he's not even in for qualifying either. So, yeah, this is going to be very exciting. Obviously, dry conditions, so we are going to see probably the normal guys at the top. The question for this one is, though, Rekus, Jono not being here tonight, and a few others as well. There's obviously a massive opportunity for some of these other guys to really score some big points tonight for their teams.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very good battle. Just coming through in general. I mean, when a championship leader is out of contention, especially somebody who's been dominant over the last couple of seasons like Jono, it does, like you say, it just kind of opens the floodgates. And we've seen how competitive this field can be. I mean, with Ryan Adair, with Aiden Raiden, and eventual sprint winner McJammy just all just pretty much just nipping at each other's heels all the way through that sprint. I mean, there really wasn't a moment where anybody really broke away in the lead of the sprint. I mean, like the closest or the farthest gap from P1 to P2 was I think about 9 tenths of a second, and that was around like lap 3 when McJammy tried to go ahead and put on a bit of a gap, but Webber was right there in the mix as well. So McLaren looking really strong, which compared to last season, I mean that's effectively like a night and day difference between them because they were not really in a competitive state last season. So it was a tricky one because they were near the bottom of the constructors table around this point last season. I think really they just beat Haas. I think that was really the only team that they were really above, if my memory serves me correctly. But it's been a much better going this time around. So Webber is going to be on his banker lap at the moment. While we go through his banker lap, let's go ahead and just check in on how everything is settling coming into the season. As overall right now, Williams still does lead in the overalls, but not by a whole lot, by only 13 points ahead of Ferrari. And the V Corp is not too far off as well. So McLaren currently in 6th. And actually, they are coming into this weekend, they were actually just one singular point by an Aston Martin. And I think they're going to jump them for 5th. And actually, they're actually going to, just from the sprint race alone, they would jump from 6th to 4th, jumping both Aston Martin and Cadillac. Considering that those three teams were just within 2 points of all of each other. So Webber's going to make his way to the line now, and it's going to be provisional pole. Obviously, he's the first one to set lap time, so we'll see about the Red Bull behind him. And actually, the Red Bull did not set a lap yet. That was an out lap for him, but Webber, a 144, 359 to kick things off.
Yeah, no, overall's looking very spicy with Williams and Ferrari, and yeah, like you did say, Aston obviously losing no points in the sprint, and also only having one driver tonight. That's definitely going to lose them a few spots as well. We'll have to wait and see if they can make that up in the week. At the moment, we've got Jazzy Trott that's reserving and replacing Jono tonight. So Williams and Ferrari have basically got a driver in as well, which is good, and it has an opportunity for them to score points, which still helps. So we'll have to wait and see there. We've then got outlap of Symphonic and Daniel Rocks on another as well, which will jump on board with Kaz for a flyer as he is about to start. He's just letting. I think he's letting a few of these guys through. Yeah, he's probably going to let the next one through as well. He does have another car. He's going to have to be quick though because he doesn't want to impede in there. But here we go. We're going to jump on board with Kaz. He's in the Merc, and he is about to start his lap. So here we go. Burns a bit of battery going into turn 1, gets into 7th gear, drops it all the way down into 2nd, slides the car into the first corner there. So really interesting for the traction then burns the battery all the way down through Radeon up into Rouge there. 8th gear, 44%, probably a little bit too much of the battery. Get a nice little toe off the back of that Ferrari as well, which will help him. But we'll have to wait and see. Very low on the battery going into turn number 2. I think it's turn 4 here. Drop onto the 50, gets onto the curb. We get yellows in sector 1 that could put Zuto off a little bit, but he's got a lot of traffic in front of him. Looks like could be I think it's a Ferrari and a Haas in front, but so far so good. He's into 4th gear, saved a bit more battery, a lot more battery. Gets onto the grass there a little bit. on that left-hand side, so that could lose him a couple of attempts as well. Coming through now into the loop, all the way down into the left-hander, very fast left-hander. Then you can see he'll save a bit more of the battery and use that big lot of battery for that final sector in sector 3. Really riding the curves very nicely there. 89%, 99% of battery. And here we go. This is where you burn the whole lot and you try and get as much speed as you can. As you can see, the battery is just disappearing and he's using it. We've got 5 good place penalty there for Aiden as Raiden. For a collision with Lachlan. That could be an interesting one there. Coming into the bus stop chicane. Gets low on the brakes there. 26% still on the battery. Going across the line. What's it going to be? It's in the 45s. No, it's in the 44s. 0.991. A very good lap there for Kaz into P5.
I'm just kind of curious on what happened. Aiden's rating is missing most of his front wing, so definitely some contact there, and that's going to be huge because we know Aiden is rated is one of the top drivers in Div 1. We know he's fast. Maybe got a little too fast and furious there. As, I mean, it's just unfortunate to see just him in that position. I mean, Aiden is rated right now is trying to close in the gap in the drivers' championship. He's currently third, just behind the 2 Williams. I mean, he will have jumped Dito at this point, so he was theoretically in second position, just splitting the 2 Williams. But now getting that gap or getting that penalty is really going to hinder his efforts, as Swith in the Cadillac will be the next driver to set a lap time. It'll be his first lap of the session. And Williams has pretty much dominated most of the season so far. They've won so far everything but the Zandvoort race. So everything but Zandvoort has been won by Mick Jammy. So with that being all said, I mean, McLaren and Williams seem to be the teams to beat here in Division 1. Taking a look at their constructors, though, would tell you a bit of a different story because right now, I mean, Williams, you know, they've checked out. They're in a different zip code at this point in terms of just how far they are in the constructors. I mean, 205 points before 111 to Red Bull coming into this week. That is going to be P7 for Swith. And someone's going to make the jokes about the Cadillacs being 6th and 7th. The joke is someone's going to make it. You did not hear from me, but Dito Williams in general has had a bit of a tricky day here. Even Dito, who was second coming into today in the Drivers' Championship just behind his teammate, he's going to try to find some kind of extra pace here. And he will want that extra pace because, I mean, Jazzy's been doing pretty good. I will say that. Jazzy has been doing good. But, I mean, that again, Jono, I mean, he always just sets the bar so high in Div 1 that, I mean, really, he could really be in the Div 0 just with his pace. He won in Imola last week in the 100% race. So, we're going to just see just how Williams can kind of bounce back because they have a really good opportunity to do so as Dito will try to make his way to the line. And he's going to go ahead and just go for it, coming into the bus stop chicane. Making his way around. McJammy is just right behind him. And he will jump up into 5th. And that's a good lap time from Dito. McJammy now. And there goes McJammy up into provisional pole. And that is going to be McJammy and Webber. Once again, McLaren won too. McLaren have really seemed to find their footing here in Spa.
Yeah, I have actually summoned Com United because I want to actually understand what's happened there with the Haas and his driver. So if Com jump into the comms box, I obviously can't use the channel points because I own the Twitch. So Com, if you're around, mate, jump into the comms box, mate. I'd like to hear what the go is there because I don't actually know what's happened there. I don't know if that Legan was on a lap or Aiden was on a lap or yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But
Um,
yeah,
I will say, Aiden was on an outlap when that
right.
happened. I didn't notice if Lachlan was on a push lap or not, but I do know Aiden was on an outlap. So Aiden was not on a push lap just yet.
Right, well, let's see if we can get Comin to try and solidify that has actually happened because at the moment he is going with a 5 grid place penalty into the race, which we need to see if that is the case or not. But while we're talking about that decision that will be made very, very shortly, McJummy, Dodge, and Webber are in the top two again. Is this going to be the same as what we've seen before? We saw James was very, very quick in the sprint early on after the incident that had with Lamb, who is under investigation still. He's obviously showing some very quick pace tonight. We've also got Beatty as well. His other teammate is just still not in on the grid tonight, which is really unfortunate. So I don't know what's happened there. And that's definitely hurt Red Bull. We've only got Ryan Adair that's in P5 at the moment. As we see, Ryan Adair has just gone up to P2 again. So these guys really do have the pace tonight, especially the top 7, all in the 144s.
Yeah, as drivers get more and more used to this track, whether they compete elsewhere or, I mean, even just doing career mode. If you do career mode or even like online lobbies, you'll get used to these tracks, especially with these regulations. So I mean that's how I mean career mode in particular is how I've gotten a lot of my experience in learning these tracks and learning the management strategies of these racetracks. So I mean there's a lot of ways that you can prep. As the drivers get more and more used to these cars, it is brand new cars, brand new regulations. So, I mean, it's a lot of new stuff for these drivers to really try to learn. But as these drivers for these, learn these new cars, learn these energy managements, just learn how to operate the ERS. But I mean, it's a bit tricky. I know some drivers absolutely love the new regulations, other drivers absolutely hate them. I'm kind of in the middle personally. I don't mind them. The cars are fun to drive. The energy system is a bit it's a bit difficult, especially around some tracks. I mean, you got some tracks like, Spa, Silverstone, Imola, Monza. You got tracks like those where the energy and oh, don't even get me started on Jeddah. Jeddah's the worst when it comes to trying to get a push slap and just kind of just saving the battery. It's such a tough track for that. I love Jeddah normally. It's actually one of my favorite tracks to drive. But with these cars, especially in qualifying, it's so tough to even just store the battery. Suzuka, another one that's really tricky. But then you have some other tracks as well that are actually like really good on the battery. Monaco, for example, Singapore. Singapore, you can honestly spend like 3 laps on boost mode without even taking it off, and you'll still have like 80% battery. Singapore is really good for that management. Some tracks do play well with these regulations more than others. Madrid, I'm just not a big fan of Madrid. I mean, I know some people do like it. It is the newest track. I don't know. It's just a weird track for me. Miami is also surprisingly good with the management. I didn't think that track would be, honestly. I figured Miami would be a bit tough on the management front. But if you can get down to the management, then, I mean, that really could make up the difference on some of these more energy starved tracks.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens within the rest of the calendar. Obviously, Jeddah is next week. It's a very painful one for the battery, especially in Sector 3. So that'll be one to definitely look out for. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. I think we've got around about 2.5 minutes to go. We've got Jamie Dodge leading the way with Ryan Adair and Webber. This could be a McLaren night tonight. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. They're looking very, very strong as Webber is about to start his lap. Let's see if we are going to see an improvement from him in this Sector 1 at the moment. A little bit of traffic in front of him as well, so we probably may get a tow from the front. We'll have to wait and see. Are we going to see an improvement? It's going to be a big improvement though. 44.3 to a 43.9. There's only one guy in the 43s, and it is that man, McJammy Dodge. So we'll have to wait and see there as Webber does improve just a tad, 0.12. So that'll take him to about a 340. So it's still not enough for P1 or P2 at the moment, but he's still got the rest of the lap, 57% of battery, burning as much as he can. A little bit of traffic in the way as well, so he's going to have to get out of the way of that. Hopefully, we'll have to wait and see what happens here, but it's looking good so far. Hopefully that traffic does get out of the way. They are all on outlaps. Yes, moving over to the right-hand side there. Good to see. And we'll have to wait and see whether coming into Sector 2 now, are we seeing an improvement, or will he be down on his time? Let's have a look. Going into Sector 2 round about now. Car's getting out of the way. There is an improvement, not by much. So he's around about that 144.3 flat. Can he push the 2 temps? He's going a really good toe off his teammate there. That could be enough. Let's have to wait and see. We saw Max and Hadjar do this as well this season in real life to try and get through. But Antonelli even had more pace and didn't even have no toe and still managed to put it up on the top. But has Webber done enough? Yes, it has done enough. And it's put him into P2. What a lap that was there, Reckers. 14 seconds to go. I will let you take away the rest.
Yeah, so here comes the rest of qualifying here for the Grand Prix. And this is going to be a dicey one here because right now it is a McLaren 1-2. Webber will not be around to get another lap, so he's done. Ryan Adair done. 2/10 off of pole position. The provisional pole time set by McJammy. McJammy now is in a good spot to grab a toe from his teammate. But the Audi right there, though, is going to potentially get a toe as well. So, I mean, this is going to be a very interesting one. McJammy is up by a 10th coming through Sector 1. Now he's going to make his way to Brussels. The tight hairpin right at the beginning of Sector 2. Not quite as tight as the source, but it's still a pretty tricky hairpin nevertheless. Lachlan is done. He'll be down in 19th. And Bailey goes out and splits the McLarens by less than half a second. So Bailey will split the McLarens. Does Jades have any response? Jades is going to go ahead and continue to pump his way on through. Coming to Blanchimont, now making his run down into the bus stop. Is Jades going to be able to get that improvement? He's coming now down to the line. Gonna go good on the brakes, coming on in. A few other drivers are finishing up. What about Jades? Can Jades top the order? Answer is no. There's no improvement from the Alpine. But here comes the toe from onto McJammy. Can he make his way through the bus stop chicane? Is it going to be an extension of what was already a fantastic lap? It is an extension of what was already a phenomenal lap time. McJammy does go up. He stays in provisional pole by half a second. Aiden's rated only able to get 6th. So that will, unless somebody jumps him, yeah, that's it. That's qualifying done and dusted. So Aiden's race can start down at 11th. That is a rough one for the driver who's currently second in the driver standings. But it is Webber in P3, his teammate on pole position, split by the Red Bull.
Yes, absolutely fantastic qualifying there. I thought Aiden Azraden would have got the job done, but he got a little bit out of sorts coming into the bus stop chicane as well. So if you can get a screenshot, or anyone for that matter, for Division 1, we will be restarting the lobby going into the feature race. We're just waiting for the please wait issue. So hopefully that isn't the case and we will get the results, as we are having issues here, which is always the case with EA.
Yep, so with the lobby restart, so the lobby is restarting, so we're going to take a quick step back, and when we do come back, we'll be racing here in Belgium. We'll be right back. Alrighty, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around. We are back and we are getting ready for 22 laps here around the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, just over 7 kilometers in length. And it is going to be a fantastic night. We've had a really tight quali in both the sprint and the Grand Prix, and then an absolute nail biter of a sprint race. So it has been a very, very fast, very furious night here in Div 1 to kick off the sprint weekend. And it's only going to get more intense from there. Once again, your hosts and commentators for this one, myself, Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and then the main man himself, SJ. So, SJ, any bold predictions before we get into our Grand Prix feature?
Yeah, definitely. I think the McLarens look very, very strong. Obviously very strong in quali, very strong in the sprint race. Obviously a lot more laps in for the feature as well. Looking a little bit dusky out there as well, so could an opportunity of rain. But yeah, going to be very interesting to see how everyone takes turn one. And I think this is going to be a good race. There's a lot of guys there that have showing some good pace, and yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens and see if we do have a surprise at the front, because the McLarens do look the strongest tonight. So yeah, that'll be good news for Sleepy the TP, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a very exciting race if it's anything like that we saw on the last lap of the sprint.
Yeah, and here we go. We got the 5 red lights coming up on the gantry. And it is lights out and away we go here in Belgium. Gonna be similar battles across the line, but you do have Bailey trying to swing it around town, swing it around the outside. Trying to go to get it, and he does get the lead on the opening lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. We all make it through turn 1. Now we're coming through a Rouge and Radion. As we get to the top of the hill, now we make our way through Camel onto the Camel Straight. Big Jam, he's already got the speed. He's already got the pace. Trying to drag race the Red Bull down. Ford versus Mercedes in the powertrain department. Toast is actually up in the 3rd, so he's had a really good launch here. As we go on through, Ryan Adair does jump up into 4th position. He will clear Webber in the McLaren. Looking to clear the Cadillac of Toast as well as we make our way coming through. And now we're going to just make our way down to Pouon, also sometimes known as the Double Gauche. There's a few different corner names on this racetrack that are interchangeable, but focusing back on the battle, Zach and Sick Party do switch for position, but up here at the front, Bailey still leads. He's got about half a second to McJammy in 2nd place. And they're going to make their way into Sector 3, which is going to be the massive turn and burn sector of the racetrack. So McJammy now, he's going to go ahead and try to burn it all down. Can he make the move? Is he going to try to send it? He's got a bit more battery compared to Bailey. Looking one way, he decides not to send it. It is still very early stages though, as we just hit lap 2 of 22.
Yeah, no, really, really good start. Only 3 guys on the hard compound tyres. Both McLaren going for the hard strategy there, and Majon R as well going for the hard strategy. Every single other car is on the mediums, and obviously Bailey did get the jump done on the McJammy Dodge as well. And we've got yellows there at the back. There's a big accident at the back. Lachlan and Daniel Rocks have come together. Yeah, big issue there for the Aston, the Haas driver. So they are going to be way down the pecking order. Oh, a little bit of contact as well. What was that about? That is that might be looked at by the stewards. We'll have to wait and see. Back up to the front, we then got Bailey that's leading the way. We then got Jammy Dodge in P2 and Toast in P3. The question is, though, is Jammy Dodge going to come under a little bit of pressure on these mediums as well? Because you can see that Toast and Ryan Adair are a little bit quicker in a few areas as well. So it'll take Jammy Dodge a few laps to get those hards warmed up. Webber has dropped a little bit down into P6 now. Aiden's Raiden did get the job done on him, but he's under pressure from Jades on those mediums. So have this hard strategy worked here? We'll have to wait and see what happens at the moment. We'll just go back on board with Ryan Adair at the moment, and he'll just jump on board with POV just to see what he can see in front of him, as he does have the back of the Cadillac that he is looking at. But as you can see there, Toast has really got better traction on McJammy at the moment. McJammy is burning a little bit of battery, trying to get the move done on Bailey as well, as we just jumped off that. And it looks like, no, those hards are now starting to warm up, as McJammy Dodge does look to ready to make a move. No, no one yet. No one making a move. Toast looks to go around the outside. Does McJammy Dodge give him space? Oh, nearly 3 wide into that last corner there. Majami dodges into P2. Toast is looking to go for a move on the right hand side. Does he get it right this time? Last time he didn't get it right in the sprint. Doesn't get it job done so far. Bailey still in the lead with McJammy Dodge. Then Toast. But Toast has then got Ryan Adair. Aiden is all over the back of Ryan Adair as well. Now it's all about power and who is going to try and go for a move down the main straight. We see Bailey leading the way. McJammy Dodge goes for a move. We've got yellows at the back. Kazuto's dropped a few spots. We've then got Ryan Adair that's got the job done on Toast into P3, and he's gone through. Now Toast is in P4, and he's now got Aiden's Raiden for company. And very, very close. This Toast is still going for the back. Aiden's Raiden looking to make the move. Doesn't make the move at the moment. But, yeah, great race so far. Kazuto, though, unfortunately dropping all the way down onto 19. And Lachlan is on the wets. Interesting, to say the least. So, unless he doesn't pit, he will be... Yeah, this will be a big penalty to Lachlan Wiggles as well. So, yeah, interesting to see what we've seen here. Back to you, Rickers.
Yeah, I mean, this is giving shades of Jeddah season 9 with a Ferrari, um, just accidentally throwing on a set of wets, and I feel like this was a misclick. I feel like that's exactly what Lachlan did. I think because if you try to go on the softs, I mean, the wets and the softs are pretty much right next to each other. But oh, look at this big battle up here. Ryan Adair from downtown sends a move, gets it done on the Bailey and Toast as well. Just getting shuffled around here is Ryan Adair. He has fired up those mediums and he is going for it. And this is going to be a interesting one here. Is like we said earlier, we'll show the tires briefly here. Ignore the wet tires. We're just going to assume that's a misclick, and that is... Oh, no, he's crossed the line, so, I mean, he's running laps on the wets. Or, no, never mind. He's a bit further back, so he hasn't had a chance to pit yet. So, majority of the drivers on the mediums. You have the two McLarens and M. John as Ryan Adair and Bailey get really close to each other for a battle. So, Daniel also on the hards now as well. He had to pit in earlier because he had some big damage after the collision with Lachlan. Ryan Adair shaking for a move. He just doesn't quite get it. And he's going to go ahead and just try to hold on here as we have a beautiful four-way fight for the race lead. It's probably going to be my best bet, unless like damage happens or a safety car. It's probably going to be a one-stop. One-stop is probably going to be the strat to go. Especially if you start on the hards. If you start on the hards, it's way, way easier to get the one-stop done. I do like the strategy from the McLarens, and I think M. John was the other driver. I'm going to just take another quick gander. Yeah, so the McLarens and M. John, I like the strat they're on. The other strat starting on the mediums is also really strong too, because the mediums do work really well around this racetrack. The mediums are pretty quick, as we're seeing here, as Ryan Adair is already trying to make the move. He backs out of it, though. He could have had a set, but a big snap there from McJammy. Those those hards, excuse me, might still be a little chilly. I mean, it's interesting. I think the one stop is definitely possible. Gonna be tricky. It's not gonna be easy by a long stretch, but the one stop could be very possible here.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's obviously done a really good job. He was obviously in P2 at first. Webber, on the other hand, a little bit struggling at the moment. Lost that to Jades there. He's 8 attempts, and he looks to make the move on Jades now for that P6 position back again, as we see Toast losing out to Aiden as right down the main straight as well. So, yeah, nice little battle going on that top 5 at the moment, but going to be very interesting to see, because when McJammy Dodge does get those hards up to temp, he is going to pull away on those mediums, So it'll be interesting to see how McLaren are going to take to this. Because yeah, if a safety car does happen, it just destroys their strategy. So yeah, and at the moment, seeing a guy on wet compound tyres is a bit of a worry. To think if we could see a safety car, because Daniel Rocks does get past him. Yeah, there you go. He's just spun into the gravel there as well. So yeah, hopefully doesn't cause any issues and. Doesn't get in the way of the leaders. That's going to be the main one that we're going to be looking at here. But Ryder there leading the way. What a race compared to the sprint. Obviously, it's still under investigation by the stewards. Jamie Dodge is not one to mess around, though. He is a very, very quick driver, and he will just time his manoeuvres when he needs to do it. That's going to be the question here. A long way to go as Webber does get the move done on Jays. Goes for a double there, though. On the Cadillac of Toast, trying to get the move done. Does he get better grip? No, he doesn't. Toast stays in front in that P5 position. We've got Katusha that's got the job done on Symphonic. We've got Yellows as well at the back, which looks like it is
Lachlan.
I don't know who that is. It's Lachlan, is it again?
No, yes, it is Lachlan.
Yeah, he is around again. Yeah. So back up to the top. We've then got Swift that's just jumped there by Symphonic. So there is battles going on all over the place.
Oh, 3 wide.
Again.
Almost 3 wide coming down to Camel Straight. It is about to be 3 wide. It's going to be McJammy trying to get the move. McJammy trying to retake the lead, but Ryan Adair sticks on the outside, coming into the chicane. And it's going to be outside, becomes inside, becomes outside, and it's going to switch around a bit. As McJammy is going to try. He got the nose in, he just couldn't quite get the grip in to get that move done. This is a tight battle up here at the front This is pretty much mirrored exactly what we saw in the sprint, except now we have Bailey in the mix as well. Laughlin's around again. I mean, on the wet tires on a very, very, very dry track. I'm not terribly surprised at that regard. Bailey tries a bit of an alternate line, maybe trying to find some kind of sneaky little gap that he can get on to McJammy as they now make their way through. I know there's the age-old saying of traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. Hopefully traffic does not become an issue, and I'm hoping Lachlan spun it right at the bus stop, so hopefully he's able to pit in this lap and actually get the tire switched. It is worrying though. Okay, he is trying to get into the pits, but he has just got no grip. Ryan there locks up the fronts. Big Jabby gonna try to reel him on in a bit. And he's gonna go toast to get to 10 ticket for corner cutting.
The last race as well. It's the same issue there. I don't know what he's doing there. It's yeah, interesting. Back to you.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's same thing like we saw in the sprint. Is now we just caterpillar our way up through a Rouge and Radion. Now coming to the Camel Straight. And McJammy's got the speed, he's got the move, he's got the overtake boost mode. So this pass should be done quite easily, and he does clear Ryan Adair. McJammy Dodge back into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens here. These guys are still going at it. Luckily weren't affected by Lachlan there as well, which is good to see as Lachlan does get out of the way of the lap cars. As is lapped already, but out the front, McJammy Dodge leading the way. Lap 7 out of 22 on those hard compound tyres. Ryan Adair in P2, Bailey, then Webber, Jades, Aiden's Raiden, Toast, Symphonic, Katusha, Swift, Zach User, Sick Party, Jazzy, Draw, Majonna, RJ, Big Levo, Kazuto, Slushy, Dino, Daniel Rocks, and Lachlan Wiggles at the moment. So a great little battle going on at the moment. And we've now seen Webber now start to make up his way. So we now started to see the herds come into tuition, and they'll be ready to pounce. We'll jump on board with a POV of Webber to see what his view is like at the moment, and he's got the back of Bailey. Will he be able to get the move done? As you can see there, he's actually underfueled as well, as he does go for the move on Bailey, and he's into P3. Is he going to go for the double here on Ryan Adair? No, he doesn't. But McLaren are cooking something tonight, Wreckers. I don't know what it is, but we could see a double McLaren on the podium tonight.
I mean, we say could, but I think it's more like it's a probability at this point. I mean, Webb has been, I mean, we know McJammy's been strong, but Webb has been really strong tonight as well. And he's just going to coast on by Ryan Adair. He just swings on by, passing him like he was standing still. And it is a McLaren 1-2 at the moment as they make their way down to Camel Straight. This is very interesting stuff here. Few drivers are coming into the pit, so quite a few drivers are going to opt in for that two-stop strategy. So we'll see if it's going to be more of a majority of the field running the two-stop. I figured it'd be more of a one-stop. I've done one-stops here before, but at the end of the stint, your tires are really struggling. So if you started on the hards, you probably have a higher likelihood of going for the one-stop compared to the mediums. I think you're going to be really in two trains of thought when it comes to strategy. Either go fast and aggressive on the mediums, and all the time you lose in the pit stop on that second stop, you'll make up just for the pace you'll have on that second set of mediums. There's no way anyone's going to go for two sets of hards. I wouldn't think anyway. I could be wrong. There is some, I mean, the engineers are way smarter than I am when it comes to the tire strats. They have all the fancy telemetry and stuff that I don't have access to, so I mean, I know I personally done a one-stop around here, but I mean, my tire management isn't the greatest. So, and then also it gives you a bit of extra flexibility later on in case a safety car or something of the sort comes out. But Bailey now going to try to hustle in, and yeah, okay. So I think a majority of the field, I think, really now, at least from what I'm on evidence of what I'm seeing here, I think everybody's kind of in the two-stop train of thought. I think the only ones that might even be considering the one stop might be the McLarens and the Red Bull of M. John as they started on the hards. Lachlan's gonna have to pit again. He's on the soft. That soft is not gonna last. Like what? 13 laps is still left, especially on Spa, which is a huge track. I don't think unless you're doing a 100%er, I don't think the softs can last 13 laps on almost any track, really. I mean, they are pretty much made out of paper mache here. So the two McLarens now lead ahead of Aiden is Raiden. As we do have some battles a bit further back, Bailey is going to go ahead and try to fight with Ryan Adair. Katusha and Swith go. Oh, Swith is at a moment. No, he hasn't had a moment. He was just pretty much just gobbled up right there. As it is going to be Katusha getting ahead. Oh, a little bit of a bumper tap there. Or rear wing tap. I was covering NASCAR the other night, so bumpers on the brain. A little bit of a love tap there from Symphonic. As you do have Zach just going the long way around, trying to get something done here. And that battle for P11, sorry, for P12 is going to settle out. Draw him a bit further back. Not sure. That is Lachlan, I think, who is involved in something again. Not too sure exactly. Back up into PA. This is for a net podium spot here, as Daniel Rocks gets a penalty. So Ryan Adair and Bailey are battling for a net P3 at the moment, because everybody front still needs to pit. So by the time everybody cycles on through, they should be about between P3 and P1. So net podium battle going on between Bailey and Ryan Adair. And now they're one step closer as they're in P6 and P7.
Yeah, great start, obviously, so far from McLaren's. 11 seconds to John R on these 9-lap hards, as well as we're seeing yellows there for Lachlan. I think he just might as well retire, as he's 1 minute and 40 seconds behind, and just on the wrong tyres as well, which just doesn't seem to have worked tonight. But Majami, Dodge and Webber are doing a fantastic job. Sleepy will be over the moon with this. John R and Bailey doing a great job as well. P3 and P4. It'll be interesting to see now what's going to happen here. Does Bailey hold up Lamb a little bit so John R can try and get into the pits and come out and, continue? It's really interesting to see how far these guys are going to go on these hard compound tyres, as well as they are. Just looking at the that's not fastest lap, the leader. Oh, you've got Ryan Adair is 18 seconds to the leader at the moment, and P10 is 29 seconds. So they've got a good leeway at the moment out in front. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, very interesting race so far. A lot of battles going on in that midfield as well. Obviously, Toast has served that that penalty. It's pushed him all the way down into P15 as well. And Swift obviously was right behind Zach User, as we've got yellows again going on in Sector 1. I'm trying to work out where that is at the moment. But yeah, McLaren, I think this is a master strategy for McLaren tonight. It just doesn't look like they're going to be on very, very quick mediums when they need to pit. And the other guys are going to be on used hards. So if there's no safety car, this is a no-brainer could be a 1-2 for McLaren, which is massive points tonight for Sleepy.
Yeah, and honestly, I think these guys really, and M-John as well, we can't forget about M-John in this one, but I think they just need to go to the one-stop, honestly, for the McLarens, because it really just seems like the best-case scenario, because right now their only competition is themselves, and they're not going to fight each other. They're just going to do enough to get the overtake for Webber in particular, and then they're just going to kind of coast on through. That is going to be their strategy. Jade's now right up on the gearbox of Ryan Adair. These guys are going to be stressing their tires out because these guys are battling. That's going to be their issue, is that they're going to be battling and they're going to just stress out those tires. Meanwhile, McJammy and Webber can manage those tires and they can conserve those tires. And in that case, they can really make it to if they make it to like lap 15 or so, then the mediums will definitely go the distance, because we were seeing everybody kind of pit in around like between laps like 7 and 9 was the pit window initially for the mediums. So with that being said, with it being lap 11 now, and they're not really losing any pace. Oh, that's a big snap from Jades. Big snap there. He'll drop off the back of Ryan Adair for that one now. But back to what I was saying, I mean, just because M-John really doesn't have anybody to stress his tires out either. So M-John, Webber, and Big Jammy don't have to stress their tires out. So they can really just make them go the distance. I mean, you could probably even get away with like a lap 14 pit or lap 13 pit. Your meters will be pretty much screaming, but these guys, with how hard these guys are battling for what's a net P3 at the moment, I mean, these guys are just burning out their tires a lot more than the McLarens will. And like you said, it's going to be brand new rapid mediums. We know how fast the mediums are around here. Rapid mediums versus, aging hards.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like it's going to be catch up for Bailey, Ryan Adair, Jade, and Aidan Aiden at the moment, as Jonna is 13 seconds in front. We've been asked for the gap to leader. Just to see how far there is. You got Lachlan just down the road there, and obviously McJamie, Dodge, and Webber getting very, very close to that Haas car. I have no idea why he has not retired in the pits as of yet, but hopefully he doesn't affect the leaders as they're just about to come around now. He will get the blue flags. As you can see, McJamie Dodge is now coming around into the final couple of corners, getting into sector 3. And Jonna still continues on those old hards as well. Bailey doing a great job. And I'm just keeping an eye on that gap to see if it is pushing down to around about 2.3, 2.5, or even 3 seconds. Is he holding these guys up to try and let John have a bigger stretch? That's going to be the question. We'll have to wait and see, as Webber's getting very, very close to his teammate, and Jamie Dodge is getting very, very close to this lap car, as he is going to not get away. No, he's not yet. No, he is. No, he is going to get out of the way. Looks like he's not going to get out of the way. Oh, is he going to get out of the way now? Yes, he is. There you go. So he gets out of the way finally. And, yeah, he's been lapped twice now. So, yeah, not having the best of nights for Haas tonight. Again, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But he is going to get a nice little toe off the back of Webber, though, because he is on a fresher tyre. So, yeah, he will be very, very quick. But, no, McLaren in the driving seat of this race. 14 seconds at the moment, and Bailey has actually got close to his teammates, so there's not much of a lead that he was trying to let Jonna have. So this could be interesting to see how this is going to work, because Jonna is going to need to pit, so does Webber, and so does McJamie Dodge. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there as well. But yeah, interesting race so far at the moment. And a lot of battles going on, but I think it's just a catch-up race now for the likes of Bailey, Ryan Adair, Jades, Aidan Aiden, and Down, which is a little bit unfortunate unless anything changes in this race, Vegas.
Yeah, and this is gonna be just a bit of a peculiar one as well, because I mean, right now we'll bring this back up again. I mean, they're gonna come out probably in eighth is where I'm assuming they're gonna kind of end up at around that ballpark. They'll end up either there or kind of right in that mix with Bailey, Adair, and Jade. So they're going to end up in that mixture or just right behind it. But once again, they'll be on those better tires, as Lachlan is still tailing these McLaren. So he's staying on pace with them despite being about 2 laps down. So Lachlan there.
Bailey and Jonna and
contact, yeah.
We've got a bit of contact going on there, as we got Bailey that's chopped the move there, and Ryan Adair has got the job done. Jonna tried to do as much as he can, but yeah, that was very interesting into the bus stop chicane. Sorry, Reckers, I'll pass you back to you.
It is all good, as Webber did drop down quite a bit. He dropped to about 1.3 seconds, so, and then McJamie, I think, allowed him to close the gap back up. So curious to see wonder why he dropped. I have a sneaking suspicion, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but I mean, yeah, Lachlan is just right up on the gearbox on the McLaren, and that's got to be at least a little slightly unnerving that Lop's car is just tailing you that aggressively. So it's been I know it's been a tricky day in the office for Lachlan, but I mean, you are 2 laps down. You gotta let these guys continue on with the race. And I mean, we saw it in Hungary in the real world, where lap traffic was kind of always been a threat to the front runners and just cars trying to pass on through. So now, coming to the strategy, we'll take a look at the tires again real quick. Right now, if they pin in this lap or next lap, then McJammy and Webber and M. John are going to be on some really good tires, although M. John has just didn't have the pace that the two McLarens have. The two McLarens are basically just in another postcode as they are going to just continue to just fight their way through, just chugging down the laps. Yeah, McJammy's going to be the first one in the box. So it makes sense that they're not going to try to double stack. They're always way too close for a double stack. And Webber actually is going to have that overtake boost. So there's the set of mediums for McJammy. He's going to come back out onto the racing track. So where does this put him? There goes. So this will put him right behind Aiden, so about P6, because M. John also came into the pits. Oh, actually, he's going to come out, yeah, just right behind Aiden, and that's going to be good because he's going to be on those brand new mediums. And those mediums, especially at this stage, will go the distance. So he's going to pretty much just do what he can to make up some moves. M. John actually comes out just ahead of Toast? Question mark? Yeah, just ahead of Toast. So he comes out just ahead of Toast. Bailey now within 0.3 of a second of Ryan Adair. But the question is, McJammy, I know McJammy can catch this field up. He's a rapid driver. He's been rapid all day. But here's the thing. It's one thing to catch, but it's another thing to pass entirely.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ryan Adair's just got the job done on Bailey as well, so he'll be pretty stoked with that. Obviously, same amount of tyres as well. 6 laps for Ryan Adair, 6 laps for Bailey, 6 laps for Jades. But Jade and Aiden as Raiden are really going at it now, and that's brought Jamie Dodge into it. And as you did say, he is going to have very, very fresh tyres as well. The only thing that would change this race massively is if we do get a late safety car. As you can see, Jamie Dodge now looking for make the move on Aiden as Raiden. Doesn't make the move this time. Tries to go again, and it gets very, very close. Look how close he is. Is he going to make the move in the bus stop? Yes, he is, and he's got the job done. Needs to get right onto the brakes and not hit the back of the car, which is really, really good to see. But he is now up in a P5, and he is now only 12 seconds behind his teammate, who has just gone into the pits. And has that hurt Webber massively? It could have hurt him because he's now coming out of the pits. He's going to drop into P6. How far is he going to be back? Not that far. They're just down the road there, as you can see. And Aiden as Raiden is still pushing, and so is Jades as McJammy is now to P3. This is McLaren's night, if it is anything to say the least, because look, you can see Webber in the background coming up already on a Rouge, and down the main straight you can see as McJammy Dodge actually lets them through there, and goes for the move around the outside. It's getting very close. Chase has a little bit of a wobble. He chose to go for the move on the right-hand side there. And Jamie Dodge being very patient. I think he knows he's got the tyres. He knows these guys are fighting out in front. And Lachlan gets a 10-second for corner cutting there. So something's obviously happened there. But Lachlan needs to be very, very careful because he's going to have more traffic behind him as well. But I'm going to keep on board of this McJammy Dodge battle because he's now right behind this Jade Aiden fight at the moment, and Webber is catching very, very quickly, and he is now only 3.3 seconds from the leader. Ryan Adair leading the way at the moment, in control with Bailey, but everyone is very, very close, and I think that Jamie Dodge is just waiting to execute his manoeuvre, which is going to be very, very soon, Rickers, on lap 16 out of 22.
Yeah, it's going to be very quick here, and I think, honestly, I would have probably put them a lap earlier if it were me, but, I mean, oh, look at this, 2 for the price of 1. You couldn't make it look any easier from McJammy. He is up in the third once again. He just got 2 for the price of 1. Now he's got that overtake boost mode, so he's got to be careful. There is one less straight mode in game compared to real life, in between La Source and Radion, or Resource and La Source and Rouge, excuse me. There's straight mode just before you start making your way up the hill. Now Bailey is going to be right up on the gearbox of the Ferrari. Red Bull versus Ferrari, and through goes Bailey. The two drivers from FST holding on for dear life, but you do have McJammy, who's on a much quicker tire. Now, that tire won't help him too much on the straights, but coming through Sector 2, that's where that medium tire is going to really come alive. especially in the later stages of the race here. So McJammy now is going to just try to claw his way on through. Webber now also just right on the back of Jade. So once again, the medium tires will be really good in this part of the track because he does have not just the tire offset, but the tire type offset as well. So that's going to be pretty advantageous around this middle sector. We'll see if McJammy can really just try to utilize it. But he doesn't have the same tire durability as the guys up front because we saw you can get about 15 laps out of those hards. And in that case, I mean, you'll be really quick on the mediums. But we'll see. He's been able to clear a few cars so far. He's got 2 more to clear if he wants to get the win here in the McLaren. And here we go. It's going to be a potential move. Oh, Ryan Adair's right there in the mix. But look at McJammy. He backs out of it. He wasn't going to try that one. He wants to dodge any accidents that he can have here tonight. Because, I mean, strategy aside, and look at that. Just a grip on exit just allows him, and a little bit of battery uses too, just allows McJammy just to slingshot past as M. John's up a position out against Swift. And then Katusha and Zax are going to scrap it out just a bit further back. But up here at the front, Aiden is raiding. He looked like he was actually about to get one onto Ryan Adair. So right now, we're seeing a lot of rapid drivers at the moment. This top 4, I mean, barely anything really separating them as McJammer really closes in the gap on the Camel Straight.
Yeah, he's getting the moves done, and he's definitely leaving it quite late there, and it's very, very exciting to see as well, because it's definitely getting Ryan Adair and Aiden getting a little bit, probably a little bit frustrated because they're running their own race. They know they're probably not going to catch him. He's on bitter tyres, and it's also Webber that's stuck in that as well. Now, if these guys could just hold on and do what they're doing, can they actually cause a bit of an issue here for Webber and hold him up? Because he is on 2 laps mediums. He is going to have very, very quick tyres as well. But he's actually now just joined the back of this battle for P1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got yellows there at the back. And that's Levo that's gone off there. And that could cause a few issues there, but no safety car at the moment. We've then got Zach User getting the job done on Katusha. As Katusha goes a little bit wide there, a little bit further down. We've got obviously that battle coming up very, very soon. Ooh. As Webber tries to get the move done. He does get the move done on Aiden's Raiden as well. Jamie Dodge doesn't get the move done. And Bailey holds on. And look at this battle going on here. I know he's on mediums, but they're still giving it a go. And Webber gets the job done. And he's done exactly the same thing as McJammy Dodge. And they are now P2 and P3. We've got a bit of an issue there. We've got yellows in Sector 3. Something's happened there. Oh. Lachlan's gone off to let everyone through. Good to see, even though you are absolutely miles down the pecking order. Back up to the front as well. We've got Katusha and Zach Hughes. There's battles in the midfield. There's battles early. And there's battles on at the front. And this battle is really going on to it. Because here comes the 2 McLarens. And McJammy Dodge has got the better line. Does he hold the position? And we've got Beatty trying to hold on. But the tyres just can't do it. Daniel Rocks gets a penalty. McJammy Dodge is now in a P1. I think we are waiting to see what we're going to see. But Ryan Adair is still trying to cause problems. Goes around the outside. Webber has better tyre wear. Ooh, they're going to go side by side again. Ooh. Really fighting it. And Webber stays into P3. And we know what's coming. It's papaya time because they are right there. And Webber, all he needs to do is just get a good run. And it is 1-2 for McLaren. But look at this. We've got more things going on because Aiden's Raiders getting involved in this now. Ryan Adair is going to go side by side with Webber. Ooh. He is not backing down, which is great to see. And he's got the job done. We're back into P3 again. Ryan Adair is not making this easy for the McLaren of Webber here. And hang on a minute. I can't stop because we've now got Aiden's Raiders going around the outside of Lamb now. It's all going on. These guys are running their own race. And you've also got Jades in there as well in the mix. Oh, a little bit of a bang of wheels there. And there you go. The 2 papayas. Oh, Beatty comes in there now. Oh, Beatty and Webber have gone off. Oh, way off. Oh, Aiden's Raiden can't get away.
That's an end play.
Blocked. Oh, it could be curtains for Bailey for an illegal overtake there. Oh, why this is all going wrong with 2 laps to go, Rickers. This is insane. And McJammy Dodge has just said, stuff that. I'm off. 2 seconds out in front. Webber does get the move done. We've got yellows again. Lachlan, another penalty. And I think that is about time to retire. He has got 46 seconds of penalties. Absolutely insane. And hang on a minute, we're still going on again.
Oh my lord. 5.
The outside.
Oh, Webber's on the moment. Webber's on the gravel.
James is now getting involved. We've then got Bailey that's still in the mix of this. Aiden has Raiden P3, Ryder Darren P2. Reckons I'm going to have to pass you because my voice is going to blow up. Back to you, mate. 2 laps to go.
Yeah, this is just going to be an absolute scrap here for this final spot. They're just for these final positions on the top 5. Webber having a big moment in the gravel. That's going to scupper any chances of a 1-2 for McLaren. McJammy has checked out. The strategy was working for one McLaren, not so much for the other. But even then, actually, even Webber was getting some good pace until that moment in the gravel. But now we're going to go ahead and just try to bring it around town with about 2 laps to go as they come across the line. They're about to start the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. And Ryan Adair is going to try to hold on. He will want to try to reel in McJammy, but I wonder if that's just a pond too far for Ryan Adair at this stage. And here we go. Penultimate tour of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. Lachlan gets a penalty for track limits. And so with that being said, penultimate lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Aiden is Raiden right in the mix. He's going to go for it. He's going to try everything in his power to try to get this move done. Bailey now trying to push, trying to fight. And we'll see if Bailey can try to recover a podium spot here on the day. Aiden is Raiden, Ryan Adair, side by side. It's a drag race. Ford versus Ferrari. Once again, Jades gets through though. Jades will jump up into P4. And this battle is going off the rails while the cars look like they're on rails. Ryan Adair just taking another defensive move. Holding on from Aiden is Raiden. They're closing the gap a little bit, but it's just too little too late for Ryan Adair to try to catch up to McJammy. McJammy's going to bring another win home to McLaren. He won in Zandvoort. He's looking likely to win here. Webber now just getting the move done on the Bailey. He's actually caught back up. So, I mean, he's caught his way back up to the rest of his field. And he's got past one car. Can he get through more? We'll just have to wait and find out. They're about to begin the final lap as they are catching McJammy hand over fist. I mean, he's dropped a couple of tenths in this last lap alone, so I wonder if he just burned out his tires too much, just trying to claw through the field. That might be the case for McJammy as we now begin the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. And here we go. This is going to be a raw street fight here in the Belgian Grand Prix. Aiden's ready to try to go for the move. Sends it up the inside of La Source. He gets the move done. Very nicely done, but does he make it stick? It was done, but for a short while. As look at James trying to come around. We're about to go 3 wide. 3 Rouge and Radion. They back out of it. I didn't think 3 wide was going to work there. But now onto the Camel Straight. One of the best overtaking opportunities on the racetrack. Here we go. It's going to be a drag race. They're all shuffling around like a deck of Uno cards. Ryan Adair holds on to that P2. Webber now up in the 4th. Ooh, he's getting dicey. It is McLaren versus Alpine. Just battling it out, trying to fight. And then you got the Red Bull of Bailey on the inside coming through Brussels. And now this is just a generational battle we are seeing here at Spa. We could still get that double McLaren podium. It is very much possible at this stage to get a double papaya podium here. But through goes Webber. He makes that move look easy. Bailey gets a 3 second, so that's his race pretty much done, dusted, and delivered. He won't drop any positions because Dito's back down into 7th still. But now this is going to be the final run, and this is going to be a drag race here. Maybe I said that it was pretty much done and dusted for that P2. But I mean, it's all to play for here. Aiden's Ray
Oh!
tries to go around the outside, trying everything here, and Aiden Ray does get it at the last moment. But coming to the line now, it is going to be McJeremy winning the Belgian Grand Prix. He gets 2 wins. Oh, but right there's a big snap. It's going to be Drag Race across the line. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Ryan there ahead of Aiden's Ray rounding out the podium. And it just got so close with Webba, Jades, and Bailey rounding out the top 6. Whoo boy, this has been a Belgian Grand Prix to remember.
Oh wow, epic. Absolutely epic. Wow, that was yeah, that was yeah. That was a race and a half. We'll get these guys in for an interview. I'll get you to tag them if you don't mind, if that's all good. So you've got Jamie, Ryan, and Aiden as Raiden, and we're just waiting for driver of the day. So I'll just open this up. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got 4. So I'll just open this up. But yeah, what a night of racing. That was yeah. So we've got 1, 2, so 4, 5, 6 users all up. There we go. Wow, that was intense. And still racing, still going on here with Daniel Roxter about to finish. Slushy about to finish as well. Good to see those guys finishing. Lachlan Wiggles does retire, and Webber has left the session. That could be an issue. We'll have to wait and see if he has desynced or not, because if you do leave the session early, you will be classified as a DNF. So that could be absolutely catastrophic if that is the case. So we'll have to wait and see there. So I'm just going to put that in as well, as that will be an investigation after the race.
Yeah, so that's.
There we go. Sorry, there we go.
All right.
Okay.
Just gonna go ahead and try to tag him. I don't have the discords for anybody but Lamb out of the top 3. So.
Okay, I'll do it. It's fine. So you got McJammy. Right it there.
While he's getting that sorted, it's now the
Thanks.
podium celebration, and what a fight it's been. I mean, these guys really just gave it everything they got here, just trying to fight for the positions. And I mean, it was such a good battle all the way throughout. As Lachlan did lead the session, race is over, so that's all right. The podium celebration, fastest lap does also go to McJammy, with M. John getting driver of the day, most overtakes, and the cleanest driver award. So 5 awards split between 2 different drivers. As we take a look through your race results, it is going to be McJammy taking the Grand Slam here in the Grand Prix. Actually, I think it's across the entire weekend. Ryan Adair, P2, Aiden's rated P3. Jade's P4, Bailey P5, and then Dito, M. John, Toast, Swith, Katusha, Zax, Symphonic, Jazzy, RJ, Kazuto, Sick Party, Big Levo, Slushy, Daniel Rocks. Webba, he did come across the line in 4th, but he left, so he dropped down to 20th. And then Lachlan is out of the race. And that is going to be it for the race itself. But now we move on to the interviews as we get ready for those. But it has been a very chaotic race. Just action all throughout. It's the good kind of chaotic. The good kind of chaotic, to say the least. So we got driver today. We got P1. We got P2. We're waiting on maybe P3. Sprint winners here as well. He won both the sprint and the Grand Prix. So we're gonna just see if he can go ahead and get it done. Let's see. Is Aiden doing an interview? I don't think so. Maybe.
We'll just see if he is.
We'll see. We'll get started with the interviews in the meantime. We'll start with driver of the day. We'll start with M. John. So, M. John, driver of the day, you had a pretty solid race. The one stop really seemed to be the strategy to be on today.
Yeah, it was good. Not the weekend I would have liked. Missed out on 3 of the sessions, but I was there for the race, and yeah, I think I capitalised on it.
John, you there?
Yeah, M. John's here. He's been talking.
I just can't hear him.
Oh, that's weird. I heard it perfectly fine.
Has me muted.
No, I
No,
couldn't hear.
I was hearing it perfectly fine, so that's
Really?
interesting. But
Oh, I'll leave and join back. Hang on.
yeah, so I mean, you definitely made the most of what you had. I know it was tricky. You weren't here for qualifying, you weren't here for the sprint, and then actually either qualifying session, but you did make up some pretty good inroads when it did come to the Grand Prix itself. Do you think you had more in the tank for the weekend?
Yeah, I think definitely I could have been in the like top six pack. I think that you know can't can't have it all. So I still think I got a solid weekend, and yeah, I was happy with my place.
Yeah, so I only got two more questions before I pass you over to SJ. Next week is Jeddah. If you thought Belgium was a Energy Star track, then Jeddah is a whole nother can of worms. So, how do you feel about heading to Saudi Arabia next week?
Not very good. I don't. I didn't enjoy practicing for this race. I don't think it'll be too much better for Jeddah, but yeah, should be okay.
Yeah, Jeddah. It's a very tough track energy-wise. Probably, honestly, at least from my experience, probably the worst track when it comes to energy management. So that one's gonna be a doozy. Last question before I pass you over: is there anyone you'd like to give an additional thanks or shout out to?
Just my Red Bull team. They've been putting in effort. We had a pretty difficult start of the season, but yeah, I appreciate them for showing up to practice sessions and yeah, giving it all they've got. So yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, congratulations on driving today. And if SJ is back in, I'll pass you over to him for any other questions or comments that he might have.
Thanks, Vegas. John R, mate, obviously you seemed a little bit deflated, obviously with the sprint and quali, but you got into the race, you got driver of the day, you obviously decided to go on to the same strategy as the McLarens. It was probably most of tonight was playing catch up because those guys were on a different strategy. But how did you find the race went for you? I know obviously Belgium is, some people love it, some people hate it. It is long, but you've obviously got driver of the day. Bailey obviously scored good points for you tonight as well, and yourself as well. So how did you overall? How did you find it?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, chose the hards just because I was planning on just trying to like overcut in some sort of way, and yeah, it worked pretty well. I got past like a little pack of like four people in only a couple laps just because of the fresh tires. So I think that was the best thing for me to do, and yeah, that just helps with my race. Just the different strategy.
How's the momentum going in for the rest of the week for Div 2, Div 3, and Div 4?
It should be good. Yeah, it's always good to get some good points on the board. So hopefully, yeah, we can keep it going.
Nicely done. Well, congrats on the drive of the day, mate. And yeah, we'll see you next week in Jeddah.
All right, thank you guys.
Cheers, mate. It's you, Beckus.
All right. So we do have Aiden as rated. We do got our P3 driver. So we're going to go ahead and talk to him real quick. Now, Aiden, it was a very chaotic race here today for you. I mean, it seemed like every time we looked in your general vicinity, you were fighting with somebody for a position. So, how do you feel about today's race?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit sick. I won't talk too much, but yeah, it was a good race. Sprint was good. Maybe could have fought for a win, but I chose the wrong direction around the bus stop on the final lap. And then yeah,
Gotcha.
qualifying for a sprint for the feature was not great. Got a bit blocked on my final lap. But yeah, just kind of fighting through it. It's all battery games.
Well, it's going to be even more of those in Jeddah for next week because that is probably the most energy starved track on the calendar. I know you're under the weather a bit, so I'm not going to keep it for too long. But last question I'll ask you before I pass you over. Anyone you'd like to give a special thanks or shout out to here tonight?
Probably my team overall. Even getting good points across the divisions. I think we're P3 in overalls, just moved up a position, so yeah, I'm really happy with the team.
All right. Well, congratulations on the podium, and I wish you the best of recoveries, and I'll pass you over to SJ.
Thanks, Vegas. Obviously, Aiden didn't see in the reserve program for the first time this season, which was interesting. Because obviously, I know you like jumping into them and getting a little bit of information. But tonight, mate, you were at the full battle of everyone tonight. That must have been a busy night for you with Ryan and Bailey, and then obviously Mr. John R, and then you had the two McLarens to deal with. Like, what a night! Like, how was it intense?
Uh, it was definitely intense. Yeah, it was calm for a few laps, and then when everyone gets argy bargy, everyone wants to be ahead, and they start using ERS, and then they use ERS near recharge ERS. So some sections everyone's 3 wide, and then for the next second everyone's half throttle midway down the straight. So yeah, it's very different, very interesting. Kind of love it really. I do like it. It's something I've never done before. No one's ever done before. So yeah, I think it's really interesting how it goes, especially at Spa.
Yeah, it was definitely a great entertainment and very clean as well. Because you have got to be on point, because if you miss your braking point or miss anything, you are hitting that car in front, because you guys were so close. And we could see the slipstream as well, especially in the sector 3 when you went for the move. On Lamb, tried to get the move done, but yeah, just a little bit unfortunate in the bus stop. But some great battles as well. Did you feel that it was a little bit of a catch up, because what McLaren basically nailed their strategy tonight with the hards and then onto the mediums, and did get a little bit unfortunate with Webber up there at the back. But did you feel it was a bit of a catch up with what they were doing tonight, and it was just trying to solidify some good points at the top?
Well, I think we got countered the McLaren strategy a bit more. I overcut 1 lap, which I probably wouldn't have liked to do right now, because it did mean that I was hovering outside 1 second of the Alpine ahead, and I was just having to push. And in a perfect world, I'd be up there with them, and that means when Meowsy came, I'd be able to defend from him. Obviously, he's much better tires, but I knew that if we kept him behind, which we did for I think a lap, we did re-overtake him. But I knew if we kept him behind, that will, he's definitely still in our race. The mediums don't last forever. So I think if we could have kept him behind, we definitely could have. That bell pack could have been for a P1. But yeah, he did get through, unfortunately, and yeah, it's not surprised really. He is far better than all of us. So I think strategy really played in his hands.
Well, I've got to say, you're having a great season. Obviously, you're up there every week. It definitely shows in the overalls as well, and making those points. And if one of these guys don't race 1 week, it gives you an opportunity, and that's what we saw tonight. A lot of drivers out, missing obviously the championship leader, Jono, not making it tonight. So that definitely gives you an opportunity to score good points. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at Jeddah and get better.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
As in health, not the driving.
Thank you. Thank you.
No worries, mate. Take care.
All right, we're going to go and jump on board with P2, and it is the Ferrari man himself. Now, Ryan, you were pretty much always in the thick of battle as well, so just how was your weekend in this regard? Because, I mean, it just looked like every possible way you were fighting somebody. Kind of like Aiden. You guys were pretty much like glued together.
Yeah, it was really intense pretty much the whole time. Like I'm really not the type of person to just sit around lifting coast and just in the train all night. I really like to get my elbows out and just not drive around, but like fight with people and just have a good time. Like that's what we're here to do. We're here to have a good time, fun time. So that was really my goal coming into this. I didn't think I had great pace before we actually went into the sprint quality and the sprint. So I just kind of set the goal to myself to have a bit of fun, and then yeah, it turned out it was a pretty good goal. Yeah, it was quite chaotic the whole way through.
Yeah, and it was just a crazy spa day from the get go. You had torrential downpour in quali and sprint quali, then you had a very tightly knit sprint race, very close in the Grand Prix qualifier, and then the Grand Prix. P1 checked out at the end, but pretty much all of you guys fighting for like second to I think like sixth. You guys were all just like so close together. You couldn't even fit a can of Red Bull between you guys. So taking a look at the calendar for next week, it is Jeddah. It is back to the regular 50% races. It is a very energy starved track, the most energy starved track on the calendar. So how do you feel about heading into Jeddah next week?
Well, in all honesty, these tracks similar Spa, they're all pretty battery starved. Jeddah's going to be a hell of a lot worse. So it's kind of good that we had it here on the calendar where we did. We kind of get that preparation for it. So, I mean, if it produces great racing like what Spa and Imola have, then I'm all for it. But otherwise, it's going to be an absolute snooze fest.
Yeah, hopefully it's the former. Hopefully we continue our string of fantastic races that we've had here, especially in Div 1. Last question before I pass you over to SJ. Do you have any other questions or comments? Or sorry, do you have anyone you'd like to shout out?
Shout out to all my engineers that came in and really helped me, even though if I was on deaf the majority of the time, really just kept me level-headed throughout both races and qualifying tonight. So thank you for that. And yeah, that's about it. And thank you to RJ for actually reserving up on short notice as well.
All right, well, congratulations on the podium, and I'll pass you over to SJ.
Thanks, Regus. Lamb, what a night. You were definitely in the thick of it, as Regus did say tonight, in both races, sprint and the feature. And you definitely didn't make it easy for the guys the two McLarens that decided to go onto the mediums. We really pushed them into certain areas, which actually made Webber finish behind you. After all that, you were really fighting on those hards, and I said the same thing to Aidan in the last interview. It must have been intense out there tonight, because it was just literally like back bumper to bumper, side by side, and just no room for error at all.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was basically just all nose to tail the whole way through the pack. Yeah, I won't lie. At the start of the feature race, I did kind of want us to get a bit of a move on. I saw Miyazi and Weber were on the hards, and that's all I could see. Like I could see, I think it was Aiden and Toast at the time were on mediums, and Toast really wasn't going anywhere. And I just knew, like, we were just sitting behind Miyazi on the hards, what's the word? Withering away on these mediums. Like, and I think that definitely didn't help with how passive he was being, because we didn't get to use the best of our medium tyres and how grippy they were, as both McLarens did show at the end of that race. So I think if we maybe used a bit more pace and a bit more of the tyre in that first, that we would have been, I say we, as in like that entire pack, that was whatever it was, all on the mediums and at the hard at the end of it. If we just had a bit more pace at the start and really actually tried to get past reality on the hard, then I reckon the strategy definitely could have swung a little bit more our way.
Well, I think it did, because obviously Williams tonight had no Jono. You obviously had yourself, and you managed to get RJ on the grid as well, who did score points as well, which was really good. And you definitely were in the thick of it tonight. Do you feel like maybe you could have maybe pushed the McLarens a little bit more on the strategy, because they obviously were on a completely different strategy? Do you think anything would have changed, or do you think just tonight that they just nailed their strategy tonight?
I definitely think maybe starting on the hards was the better choice, but like I said earlier, it was really I in particular had to wait for Toast to going to move on. I think it was Toast anyway, and he just wasn't. And then by the time I got past him, the mediums were pretty much already worse than the hards that they were on. So we wasted those like first 5 laps where our tires were better, which if we actually were switched on, we probably could have gotten them, and then it could have been a completely different story. As we were pretty much we was holding the gap to Miyagi once he did gap us pretty consistently. I think it was a consistent 1 point, no, what, not 1 point, 2.0 and 2.2, and that sort of range. Until obviously we started absolutely going ballistic in the last few laps, when that's when it really started to play out. But I think if we were actually used the tires a bit more in that first stint, we could have really fought a lot harder for the win. But obviously, that's not what happened, and yeah, so strategy was different. And I think we as a whole could have really been on for it tonight.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a fantastic job. And this is obviously very, very good step going into Division 2 tomorrow night, 3 and 4. How do you feel that the rest of your team are going to take with this? Because obviously it's big points for Ferrari tonight in both races, obviously the sprint and the feature. So how do you think the rest of your team's going to go into the week with this momentum?
Really good. RJ was in the VC with me, same with Filthy, and RJ got a lot of confidence from his race tonight. Even if he did go a little bit backwards from his quality result, he was still really proud of himself. So he's definitely built up a lot of confidence in himself over tonight. And then I definitely think we've inspired Filthy, who was there as well in RVC, and hopefully that inspires the rest of our team to do well over the next few days where they race.
Okay. Last thing, Cheddar next week. How you feeling about that track?
I have no idea. I haven't touched it on with these cars, but from what I have seen, it's not going to be very fun. I think we're just going to be sitting at half throttle, driving their free cars for most of it.
Well, the battery's a killer. I know that, especially in Sector 3. But no, great job, and yeah, well done. Did you rest?
All right, so last but most certainly not least, our race winner of McJammy, aka Meowsy. So, McJammy, I mean, McLaren just had the pace all day long. I mean, it's just been you and Webber have pretty much you guys did extremely well in both qualifyings and in both races. With you, I think getting the clean sweep across the weekend. So how does that feel?
Yeah, pretty good. Probably would have wanted to have a bit more of a buff on the sprint race, in the final lap. It's just slipstream is so powerful, and that's like, I guess the problem for me, where I know I have probably a bit more pace, enough pace to probably naturally break boost on some tracks, but around here you just can't. Like the slipstream in Sector 3 is so OP. Like I had 90% battery on the final lap entering the straight. Um, and I had boost mode, I had everything, and Aiden was able to catch full attempts and almost have him run at me to the line, even though it's burning my battery the whole time. You just can't really break here, and I assume that's going to be the case around Saudi as well, so it'll be pretty interesting from a spectating point of view, but for drivers who are naturally going to be at the front, it's probably not what they want, because it's going to just throw in more factors into the mix that could undermine the weekend, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know how strong the slipstream is around this track in particular. It's I think one of the tracks with the strongest slipstream. Baku I know can have some good slipstreams in some parts, but Bahrain is, or sorry, not Bahrain. Bahrain sometimes, but Belgium definitely is one where you're gonna be just kind of dealing with the slipstream quite a bit. Next week it is Jeddah Energy Starve track. How do you feel?
Uh, yeah, basically the same around here. I mean, I'll probably have decentish pace, but like, because of the nature of it, we're all, as what Ryan said, we're all gonna be half throttling, and it's just so unpredictable on like where people are gonna burn their battery. So like, if you're usually just like pretty content where you are, you're not gonna be safe for very long because there's gonna be someone behind you who's just fed up with things, just wants to go for him, burning their battery. So yeah, there's a lot of variables. It'll be probably entertaining, but kind of similar to Spa. But yeah, it'll be pretty chaotic.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, these cars can handle dirty air a lot better than the last gen cars, and Jetta was notorious for that in all the ground effect cars. So it should be a bit of an easy time following, but yeah, battery is going to be such a big key component. Last question before I pass you over: is there anyone you would like to give a special thanks or a shout out to?
Yeah, Dwayne and Weather for being cutie patooties. Yeah, that's about it.
I have heard engineers and friends called a lot of things, but cutie patooties is not what I've heard before till now. So thank you, Meowsy.
You're welcome.
I feel like I'd get sent to HR if I called any of my teammates at work cutie patooties. Who knows? K1's a weird group.
Nah, I'm sure
Anyways,
Weber would like it. He's my good boy.
alright, I'm just gonna pass you over before I absolutely just die laughing. So, congratulations on the win, and I'm gonna pass you over to SJ.
Yeah, I do like that. I think that's it's a new one. Yeah, make that into a meme, Miyazi.
Oh,
Should be
no.
good. Obviously tonight, mate. My question is obviously I did say probably from the start that McLaren looked the favourites, qualifying, sprint, everything. Just nailed the strategy tonight, like the hards. Like, what was the go with the hards? Why the hards? Especially when you were qualifying at the top.
Well, Weber DM'd me after qualifying saying I'm gonna do hard medium, and I'm like, okay, what should I do? And I kind of like just thinking over the sprint race, I noticed that even though I had a decent pace advantage, I just can't break boost for the life of me. And I know if I want to probably have a good chance of like getting the win and negating any potential other variables that could be thrown my way, I think hard mediums will just be the best because I know in clean air I would probably have a decent enough pace to not lose too much time against their new tires, and then for the final few laps I would have mediums, which will basically ensure that even with slipstream and boost, they will have a very hard time trying to get past me if I am in the lead. So that was mainly the play. I think it worked out pretty well. I was monitoring the gap between me and Ryder there throughout the first stint, and I noticed that we were losing probably on average 5-ish temps per lap. So once that started dropping down, this is out of the box. Weber did it the following lap, and we just slowly started picking off cars before I cleaned air. I think I had a lot more pace towards the end after like I broke the train. I just wanted to save enough boost for the final lap so I could go for fastest lap because I didn't have a clean lap in the train during the prime of my tires. I started the last lap on 50-ish%, so and I still was able to get fastest lap regardless. So yeah, I think I had a lot more at play there, but obviously my priority was just to try and get the win.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a very mixed, different race compared to the sprint where you had Aiden as Raiden, really test you, making overtakes, going side by side, compared to obviously the feature where obviously you and your teammate decided to go on a different strategy. But it actually nearly didn't work out for your teammate in the end because he got stuck behind the battle, and the guys in front really made it very, very difficult. And we did see as well when you came out to the mediums, you probably took a little bit longer on some of the laps to get past the guys. Was there a reason for it? Because we knew you were going to have the pace. We knew that your tires were going to be, absolutely rocket ship. But you took your time in a few areas where you could have made the move, but you didn't. You should stay behind them. And then all of a sudden, we saw down on the main straight, you just burned past them into turn one every time.
Yeah, I just didn't want to make any silly moves. I was also saving battery, and I kind of had enough of a knowledge for all the drives to know where they wanted to burn and where not to. So I just burnt all my battery where I knew they weren't going to be burning it. So I just sit there, got the move on the straight, and yeah, that's just how I got past them. Just didn't want to overcomplicate things.
Well, you did, and you got the win, and you got some big, big points for McLaren. And I'm sure silly season's around the corner, depending if you do. I know you're very busy with your sets, or whatever you call them in Australia. But if there's an opportunity, I'm sure that every single TP will be lining up at the door wanting you to sign for them. Is there a possibility, Miyazi, with 12 races to go?
Uh, I mean, I'm unsure really. Like my final exams will be towards the end of the season, so I think I've said this to a couple of TPs already. I don't think it'll be really fair for me to be signing up full time, knowing that it like I could just probably not show up for the final few races because obviously I want to actually be focusing my time on my final exams, not on doing league racing, which is understandable. Maybe the few odd race few here and there if I'm like just need a break from studying, but yeah, that's just like how I sit with it at the moment. I just don't want to accidentally go into something that I know I can't really uphold on my
Yep.
end.
Oh, well, I appreciate the honesty in the answer. I'm going to ask you actually another question before we do wrap it up. And I've done a few of the podcast interviews as well, and I'm going to ask you the same question I've been asking there on there. What's your thoughts compared to last season when you raced in Rush to this season? And obviously, the grid has changed dramatically, and there's a lot of guys that have got faster. But what's your thoughts to the two grids compared to last season and this season?
Yeah. Well, I think the nature of this game makes it a lot more interesting as well. I think a lot of drivers, who may have been in the midfield are now able to fight the front just from the nature of how the battery is. It's really just like who can manage it the best. It's not fully about race pace anymore. So I think it definitely makes it more competitive from that stand of things. And a lot of people in general have gone a lot better, whereas the people at the top really haven't. So that's just what I've noticed from just looking at a few leagues. Just the gap between the top and the midfield has definitely come down a lot, and even some divisions in general.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually quite interesting to hear that because now, instead of like DRS, when you're seeing two people run away, you're in a battle of six other cars for P1, which is
Hmm.
insane.
Yeah.
And you make one mistake, that person in P4 could end up winning the race. Do you know what I mean? Which is making it
Yeah.
a lot more intriguing and a lot more entertaining for the viewers as well, that you're seeing a four-way, a five-way, a six-way fight for P1 instead of just just you and another driver just going back and forth and DRS switching and then, trying to make the move and staying close as you can. So yeah, definitely, I agree with that. And yeah, it's interesting to hear your thoughts because everyone's different, and I still think a lot of people are a little bit getting soul destroyed. They can't go quicker, they don't know how to go quicker. But I think the major thing from what I'm seeing. And my racing and watching races and looking at other people is the battery. If you
Hmm.
manage the battery and it clicks, oh, you'll have a lot of fun. But if you don't, it becomes quite painful, and you keep scratching your head thinking, how do I go quicker? How do you, from a top tier driver to a lower tier driver, how do you explain that to a lower driver to try and get better, to find that pace?
Watch other people race. I think that's my like advice. Just like I don't know where, like just go on YouTube, go on Twitch, maybe even TikTok. Look at a few hot laps or even just race clips. Just see what they're doing and what they do differently to you. That's probably the best way to improve, just passively, I guess. The other way is obviously just keep on doing laps and doing league racing because with experience comes more skills, so and that's quite necessary, I guess. Um, but yeah, I think that's just my advice. Just watch people.
Okay, awesome. Well, as always, Miyazi, thank you very much for jumping in and giving us a little bit of insight to how you think and how you feel. And yeah, look forward to seeing where you end up racing next week in Jeddah.
Yep, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Well,
That's it, I guess.
all right, so that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here for Rush Racing League Division 1, Round 6 here at Belgium. Another sprint in the books, and that is just the beginning of our week. 3 more divisions still left to run in this fantastic sprint format, and it has been a day to remember. So go ahead and drop a follow if you haven't already, and you do not want to miss any more of this Belgian Spa action. Well, SJ, you got any final words before we send this one off into the sunset?
Uh, well, apart from that was a really, really good night of racing. Obviously coming off the back of 100% race at Imola and then going into a sprint weekend, and I've stated in announcements and messages tonight, it's about maximising those points, and we saw some fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing, saw a lot of patience, a few issues as well, which obviously will be looked at, I'm sure, behind the scenes, and a few investigations there. But yeah, I think McLaren tonight, Sleepy will be very, very pleased going into the beginning of the week with big points for his McLaren team. So good job to him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we have got up our sleeve tomorrow in Division 2.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic one, nevertheless. You're never going to want to miss it. It's always good racing action when we head to Spa. It's called Taking the Spa Day for a reason. A massive shout out to our sponsors, Sim Racing Center SimLab and Pagnet Advanced Simulation. And of course, a massive shout out to all the guys in the Twitch chat. You guys have been fantastic as always. And on behalf of SJ, my name's been Patrick Coleman, aka Rekkus, and we've been your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. Stick around for tomorrow when we go to do Div 2. And then for more Div 1 action, tune in next week when we head to Saudi Arabia for Jeddah. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.